Welcome to the new Marriage in the Buff podcast, where we talk about God's plan for marriage in today's chaotic, crazy world. God's plan for marriage is perfect. It has been for thousands of years. The problem is we have screwed that up. We keep trying to do it our own way, and it just does not work. But God's plan does. It is perfect. I am Kevin.
I'm Kristen, and absolutely. God has a plan for our marriage, and there were many times in our marriage where we did not put God first.
Most of the time.
We are a couple who's been married 25 years this month.
That's a long time.
It sure is by the world standards or anybody's standards. We have 4 girls.
How long is that in cat years?
Oh, I don't know. 200 maybe?
Dog years?
Well, are dog years and cat years the same?
I think cat years are more than dog years.
Cats.
I think dogs are 7.
Then I don't know what cats are, but we can get back to you on that.
Absolutely.
4 girls, 16, 19, 21, and 23. So definitely get highs, lows.
Crazy.
Crazies, chaotics.
Emotional.
Yes.
Loud.
And definitely understand the strain that can have on marriage. As well as lots of other things. You know, we have had really high highs and low lows, and just want to make sure that we help others with learning what we've learned and setting priorities right and doing things God's way.
Absolutely. And those highs and lows definitely, they've been really high and really, really low. And throughout that, we kind of tried to do it our own way a lot. And when we finally figured out God had a better plan, that He is the designer of marriage and that His plan is perfect, and we actually invited Him into our marriage together, that's the key word, we did it together, then he came in and He took the lead, and everything seemed to change. It was like a light switch, honestly, where we saw each other different. We saw things differently. We worked on things differently. We realized that love wasn't just an emotion that you can fall in and out of. It's an action. It's something that you do every day. You choose to love the other person, and that's what propels your marriage. And loving God, love your neighbor, which is your wife, your husband, your closest person, and that changes it all.
But I think what we didn't even realize was during those lows, He never was not there. He was always there with us, waiting for us to find that. And also, I think a lot of what we've learned, even in the last few years, as God has been calling us into couples ministry, and even before that, where we were really together working on our marriage, was that He does have a plan for marriage, and we didn't even realize that. And I think that that's a lot of what we want to help others with. So that's why we want to start this podcast. What else can you tell us about what this podcast is going to be about? I know we want to talk about priorities in marriage. We want to talk about communication in marriage.
Intimacy,
good, healthy ways to fight, because
fighting naked.
Fights. Sure.
Both physically and theoretically.
I hear you, but I don't think we have physically fought naked.
Next time.
Okay.
They'll be like American Gladiators.
Let's hope we're not in a car.
At least it'll be dark outside.
All right. Well, we also do retreats, and that's something that's really close to my heart. I love getting with some couples and working on their marriage in a retreat environment where we can bring in activities and
solitude
and things to work on. So look for more on that. We've got, I think, all of our 2025 dates planned out already.
Yep, we start in January at the Vision Retreat, and then we have marriage conference here in Buffalo that we'll be at. Then we're heading down to Cincinnati to couples camp, and then we will have our second retreat of the year in May. We do the retreats here in Western New York or Southern Ontario. Wherever works for everyone. Normally try to get a nice either bougie place with a hot tub and all the amenities and all the good stuff, or we can do it a little rougher and go camping or cabins or whatever we decide for that time of year and what everyone's interested in doing. So that's always a lot of fun, and it really is a bonding thing. It brings you closer to each other and closer to God and closer to God with one another. So it's really, really good. It's a great way to get refocused and recalibrated and kind of hear and work through God's plan for your marriage. As Kristen said, we also, the whole point in all of this is to share the things that we've learned, so that that, number one, you're not alone. We all have problems, whether we admit it or not, whether we vocalize it to other people or not. We all have struggles. The other thing, we've made so many mistakes, and we can hopefully help you to avoid those.
And we continue to make mistakes. So I think that God will continue to use our mistakes in helping others and just finding his will for our lives.
Yeah. And also, if you're in the middle of those trials and those mistakes, then there is hope. If there was hope for us, if we 25 years, no one would have ever thought that, including either of us, I'm sure. But God is good, and he is always good. And if you have a great marriage, that's great, but there's always room for improvement. There's always things you can work on, communication, different things that can tweak it and make it just a little bit better.
Yeah, and if anyone has any suggestions, any questions, or any topics that they want to hear about specifically, contact us, Kevin@marriageandthebuff.com. And also, we are starting to offer some couple marriage coaching.
Yeah, we do couples coaching sessions, either one or a series of them, where we kind of talk to you, take a look at things, find out what's going on with you, and give you suggestions of how to improve communication, work through difficulties, reprioritize, and just get on the same page and get working towards the same thing.
Goals,
set the goals and give you some. Normally we'll do like three things that, okay, these are the things we're going to do. These are the non-negotiables that, okay, like with us when we did this, it was like go to church. That was one thing. Go to church every week. That was one of the big things.
It's different for everyone. So just getting a couple on the same page. And I know I did also say marriage coaching, but I don't even think it has to be marriage, because we've talked to people that were premarital too. So really just couples coaching.
Absolutely. We also want another one of others is a date night. We have date night every Friday, almost every Friday, unless something else more pressing comes up. But that's one of the non-negotiables with us. This is what we do. This is what we do every week. And it's great. We missed that for so many years of our marriage and didn't prioritize our marriage because we had kids, because jobs, because of whatever. And just taking that time to set apart and to do every week, you look forward to it. It's your time away. It's your escape. And you're working on your relationship. So it's always good and relaxing.
Yeah. So we hope you will join us on this podcast journey. We're going to try and have a new one out every single Thursday.
Yes, we will have one every Thursday, the Lord willing. So make sure you hit the subscribe button so you can come back and listen and see what else we're talking about. Lots of different topics we're going to cover. And like I said, like Kristen said, if you've got any questions, we'd love to talk to you about it. Kevin@marriageandthebuff.com. You can find us on Instagram @marriageandthebuff.com. And we look forward to hearing from you.
And on Facebook.
And absolutely on Facebook, it's
Marriage and the Buff
Retreats, where you can see what's going on with the retreats and everything. But if you have any questions, anything we can do for you, feel free to reach out. And we'll be praying for you guys in your marriage and knowing that God has a better plan, a greater plan, and the best is yet to come.
Have a great week.
Bye.